Hi, I'm Colleen McCreary. I'm the Chief People Officer at Vevo, the world's largest music video company. We are a startup that began 7 years ago. We have about 400 employees across the world, and last year we did about $500 million in revenue. Prior to my time at Vevo, I worked as a consultant with a number of companies, including helping Twilio get through their IPO, a number of fintech and HR-related software companies. Prior to that, I was the Chief People Officer at the Climate Corporation, which had a $1 billion exit by their acquisition with Monsanto. Prior to that, I was the Head of People, Chief People Officer at Zynga, from about 100 employees to 4,000 employees through their IPO. And in the early days, I worked at Microsoft and EA. And I think in terms of making decisions around where you work, it needs to be about things that you're passionate or excited about, the team that you're working with, and sort of what's the opportunity. And I worked as a consultant for a long time. After I left Zynga, I wasn't quite sure if I ever really even wanted to be an employee again. But you know, at the end of the day, I love music. This is truly what I love. And the size and scope of what Vevo is able to accomplish and what they're trying to do, you really just can't walk away from something like that.
That's great.
So I usually consider myself an East Coast girl. Grew up on the East Coast. I went to college and graduate school on the East Coast. One of the biggest differences between sort of East Coast and West Coast, and San Francisco in particular, is the amount of sort of communal sharing that we have of just about everything. So information, technology, the shared economy, the idea that you are going to benefit at some point or the other by sharing great information. It's not this like closed, secretive world. And I think in particular, East Coasters have this very sheltered, I stay inside my own place, I stay inside my own company, I don't necessarily want to go and tell everybody my secrets. Whereas the Valley is the complete opposite. It really is all about, you know, sort of how much information you can give to somebody else, how much sort of karma can you give, because, and especially in the entrepreneurship world, like that's what's going to really help the world go around in that space. I think for first-time founders or teams, obviously I work in sort of the people business, and I think you don't want to underestimate how important the team dynamics are. People tend to focus only on the idea or the process, or maybe even just how smart somebody is or what their resume is. And at the end of the day, it's really about chemistry, ability to work together, and is this somebody, I always like to say, like that you would carpool to work with. I mean, if you could stand every morning and every night getting in a car with somebody, it's a pretty good indicator as whether or not you can spend all day and all night working on a project together. I'm super excited to be a NYU Stern Venture Fellows mentor. I think it's a really cool opportunity for students and also for all of us participating.